This video is sponsored by Gportal. They host all of my servers, and I have to say they are pretty awesome. You can save 10% with my link in the description. Subscribe for more Valheim. So we're going to talk about one of our favorite things, things we'd like to see changed or added in-game. It's always fun to speculate what they could possibly add in the future, or maybe just little things that we would love to see changed or added to the game. Morning Darkness, what's on your wish list?
So something I actually found out this last week. So you know how with the bed placement versus campfire versus hearth, you can place the bed 8 meters away from a campfire, but it expands when you put in a hearth to 14 meters. However, the comfort zone is really, really small. So even for the hearth, it's only 4 meters. So the hearth provides 2 extra comfort when it's placed?
Yes.
That zone is only a 4 meter zone.
Only 4 meters from the hearth, huh?
Yeah. And so I wish it were a little bit bigger, because I think the campfire is about the same. It's only a 4 meter, or it might be a little bit closer. But I wish with the hearth that it was just a slightly larger comfort zone expansion, because that's really limiting when you're trying to build and decorate and get a really good comfort space that also doesn't look super crowded.
Yeah, good point.
Interesting. Now I'm curious to set up a little test grid and measure all those things out at some point. Maybe chance for a new video.
I hope so. I think that would be super informative, because also testing the brazier, the standing, the hanging, all of that. I would love to see a video like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize anything increased. Like you're saying, the combination of the bed with the fire or the hearth increases its range. I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah. So the campfire, you have to be within, I think it's 8 meters. And I think with the hearth, it's 14. And I think the brazier is also 8 meters, but I haven't tested it.
Cool. Well, Zion, if you could have something added or changed, what would it be?
So actually, just yesterday, I was talking with Smith a lot in the Valheim Discord about this exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We got to talking about how the rare occurrences, such as the big rooms with the ponds and so on in the frost caves, how those really spice up the experience for you from one cave to a next. So what I would like to see is tons and tons of those super rare occurrences to make it to where any one playthrough is really different from the next. And as you're exploring, you have a lot more to find that is unique and makes you want to explore.
Oh, yeah, that'd be really cool.
And are you referring to just the degree of randomization in the dungeons themselves, or in the overworld, or both?
Both, but also having the unique content that is rare enough that you won't run into it from one plains to the next plains to the next. And we got into the topic of is it okay for a player to find everything in one world? Or is it okay that they don't find everything in one world? It was a nice, long, insightful talk.
Yeah, well, definitely right now, the maypole, I think only 1 or maybe 2 spawn in a world, but some worlds can have none. That's sort of been with my idea with the seasonal servers, is that I would love to have more just random different things that as you're exploring you come across. And that's why for our season 3 server, we have now builds from season 1 and season 2 that we can reuse. We have new builds being made for season 3, and not just adventure builds and dungeons, but we also have people building just interesting things to run into, like maybe a statue or some old ruins that, are just there to add flavor to the scenery. And I'm actually in talks with modders right now to see if we can come up with a mod that can help us randomly place those in a map, so I don't have to go and place them manually, which would be really nice, because then you could have a lot more of them, and they could be in different configurations, or maybe some maps have some of some things and some maps don't have some of certain things. So yeah, more in the world to come across is probably the absolute highest thing on my list.
And mine too, especially. I would love if they had some more just entirely optional stuff, optional bosses, optional dungeons.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with mods over here, build that experience for players. And, they can get that if they come and play on the seasonal server, or if they get signed up for my Game Master patron and play the seasons, download them for their single player world. So let's start to get a little bit of that. And hopefully, I'm so excited to see by the time Valheim 1.0 comes out, all this content that we'll have to, give, in addition to what Iron Gate gives us, to all our own little things that we can add to the world to spice it up. So it's really exciting times.
That's the one thing I think Valheim, as a company at least, should consider, that they should maybe think about having a small secondary team to add content to the old world while they keep pushing the remaining content. Because then they could sort of expand on two fronts simultaneously. And it would help with the big sort of droughts between content as well.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to be, one of the people involved in helping with adding content to the pre-existing biomes.
I feel like that's what they did, though. I remember one of the interviews we did with either Jonathan or Smith, maybe they were talking about having exactly that. They split the dev team into two teams, one of them working on the big biomes and things like the Frost Cave update and the roots and root armor abomination and so on. These were kind of little smaller patches, content updates to all the biomes, and it was different teams working on that, which is why stuff came out at different times. I think that might be how they are organized, although right now I believe it's all hands on deck for Mistlands, which would make sense. But they have, Grimcore has said on the last interview we did on his birthday a couple of months ago now, he did say that he felt like some biomes needed more mobs or mini bosses. And even though the Frost Cave update was done, he still felt like the mountains were lacking a little bit in mobs. So I wouldn't be surprised if after Mistlands is out, we see some new things added to other biomes, older biomes as well.
Right. And it was good for a little while, but you have the problem of with all their team working good as they are cohesively together. They really need all that power on the big next biome. And if they stop after Mistlands for a while to do small ones, then it will just push Ashlands or Deep North, whichever they do next, off even more, So I'd love to see a full-time organized team just for the old content. 5 people, maybe 4.
Well, I've put together a build team and for our servers, and it would be awesome if we could start to build locations at least. Maybe not mobs because that requires the 3D modeling and animating and all that, but to build locations and submit them for consideration to include in biomes. That would be awesome because yes, I want more mobs too, but I really want more locations. I just love exploring and coming across new points of interest. That just for me, I still get a tickle every time I see the statue in the swamp, and I want 10 more varieties of things like that out there.
Yeah, I agree. Even simple things like those stone circles and interesting arrangements of stones in the plains, and those little things that are just part of the environment, but that are things that you come across. And it just I always dig around those because I'm like, oh, maybe there's buried treasure. There's not, but I always do it anyway. The swamp statue, for ages I was trying to interact with it or do something with it because I was like, surely it has a meaning, it might unlock something. But those little things are fun. And also I really like coming across structures like cabins in the mountains or those kind of abandoned villages in the meadows. Those are super atmospheric as well, especially if you're playing on a solo world and you're literally the only player there. So there's no other player built structures that you can really visit. It's nice to see some kind of man-made structures as well in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what about you, Gwen? Things you'd like to see changed or added?
So other than endorsing the request for more locations, it's kind of a weird one. I don't know. I would like more pickable plants. I like flower picking. It would be nice to have more plants that you could pick. I don't know what for, but
Decoration.
I like holding dandelions. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, to be able to make decorations, bouquets, or more recipes for meads. I don't know. It would be a nice thing. I have a feeling it will come with Mistlands though, because they did tease 2 funky looking plants, exotic looking plants. So probably will be part of new recipes. But yeah, I think maybe that's what's lacking a little bit in the environment is there's not that many flowers other than the dandelions that you can pick. And in the plains, you've got those, the grass sometimes that has like those red flowers, which is really pretty. In the meadows, there's no flowers, no plants. Meadows are supposed to be all about flowers, but there's none.
We need a herbalism profession with a bunch of rare flowers to find, yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome. And then you can make potions and spells, and then you can be a shaman too. Could definitely have shaman in the game, right?
They
yeah,
exist.
you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Vaste, what about you? If you could change or add something, what would it be?
I usually like the raids, the random events that can appear at any moment. It makes you stay more focused on the game and not just AFK building over the tree. And I would like to add like mini bosses, like they command the raid and make them attack and don't stop until you kill the boss. Like the most raids in other games. So adding a bit more difficulty to the normal playthrough.
Yeah, it's kind of what I try to do with our events. Like the event yesterday, I had the shaman who was minding her own business and being attacked and raided by the Vikings. But yeah, as long as she was still alive, I would keep spawning in mobs here and there to help her. Or I would make server announcements. You remember that, Vaste? I would make a server announcement like it was the shaman like casting a spell or something.
Like shouting to all the Vikings.
Yeah.
Oh,
remember?
That's cool.
So at one point, somebody I think used an gear to knock her off the tower, even though there was like, iron bars to try to keep her up there. Somebody managed to knock her off. And so I made an announcement. It's that center screen announcement, like when a raid starts, I can add that message. So I just typed in there that she shouted the word teleportum. And then I teleported her back up onto the tower. And yeah, just fun little things like that to give her personality. And then she summoned like a big, a fueling berserker to help her at one point when she was getting desperate, and she cast a spell.
Champion.
A champion. She cast a spell for that, or she would keep casting spells. What was it? She summons death to help her. And then after a few seconds, she said that, then a new death skeeto would appear. So everybody instantly started looking around when she said, I summoned death to help me. They're like, here comes another death skeeto. Get ready. Good times. But yeah, that would be fun. A mini boss with raids would be really awesome. I think the raids are very, very overly simplified for, that early, first version of the game. I hope at some point, even if after initial 1.0 release, they also give those raids another look to add some more dynamics to them, like a mini boss fight, in an MMO or something would be a lot of fun.
I personally think the boss raid is especially made for people that is AFK. Just to make sure they can stay standing around.
Yeah, if you go AFK at your base, then the bats come and kill all your animals and start wrecking your stuff, huh?
Yeah. What is something that you want to see change, Jiroc?
Well, yeah, for me, it's now, most of the time now, it's stuff having to deal with admin things, and there's so many cool things to decorate in the game as an admin for placing at locations for the players or adding interesting things to the world. I would just love to take all the pickable things in the game, where you can walk up and you can pick it and get the model for that's not pickable. So the crystals on the wall, because I want to decorate with those as admin for locations. But then if the players can just pick them and take them off the wall, then they're ruining my decoration for the next player that comes through. So yeah, non-pickable models for pickable items would be awesome. And of course, I have a mod for that now, so it's not an issue. But in my vanilla server, it still is because I can't run that mod. But that would be mine. You like Viking stuff? I like Viking stuff. Well, you should check out my sponsor, The Grimfrost. They have thousands of modern and historical Viking products. So many cool things here on this website, and just use my link in the description. I'd like to give a huge shout out to my supporters, some of them on Patreon, the YouTube membership, and the ones who help boost our Discord server. Your support means the world to me and inspires me to make more videos, as well as run a community Discord and multiple Valheim gaming servers. If you enjoy my videos and would like to support my work, join our friendly Discord community and Valheim servers. Links can be found in the description below. Skål!